highlight this point, my lord. Yesterday, during interaction between the court and Mr. Nxumalo said never, there's no corroboration. And then the state submits this corroboration, enough corroboration. The presence of Mr. Zungu at the hostel can be corroborated. The presence of accused number 3 and number 4 can be corroborated by objective evidence that was brought by Ms. Pinky Fillingham before this court as exhibit GG1. On the 26th of October 2014, from 1341 to 1511-33, accused 3 and 4. And I'm including accused number 4 because he said he aligns himself with the cell phone records of accused number 3. He even amplified it to say that whenever accused number 3 receives or makes a call, he will be there to see that this person was using this device. And whenever there was a photograph that was to be taken, the only person that would take the phone and take a photograph was Mabungu Dude. That's accused number 4, through his counsel. And then we submit, my lord, that according to the data around that time, the tower reflected is phosphorus. How do we know that, my lord? Because Ms. Pinky Fillingham told us that the phosphorized tower, it resides at or near, I want to use those words, Basuti Hostel. It is 688 meters. And then how does a tower works? You connect to the closest available tower. So how is it possible that accused 3 and 4, they were at Lisedi, where we know there's a tower, and if the Lisedi tower is not working, then there's a tower nearby, which is Fostoras West. Why were they not connecting to Fostoras West or Lisedi if they were indeed at Lisedi? And our submission, my lord, is they were at Basuti Hostel, which is 688 meters away from the tower. That's why they were connecting to the Fostoras Tower for those over 3 hours. And we submit that that is the time where this planning to kill the deceased took place. It is the time wherein the state witness, Mr. Zungu, said he saw them during the day. Even at the time when accused number 5 were to leave, he has to make way for him to reverse, for him so that he can leave the hostel. And this information, my lord, can be found, or this evidence, 29 July 2024, at page 54. The witness also, Ms. Pinky Fillingham, also gave the distances between Basuti Hostel as well as the Lisedi Tower. Pardon, my lord?
Is it the house or the scene of the crime? Pinky. Did it give the dimensions between so-called Basuti Hostel and 1135?
She did give the distance as well, my lord. I think it was between...
Yeah, fine. I'll get it.
4 kilometers, somewhere around there. But there's a map with the distances.
4.3 kilometers.
That's correct, my lord. I think that's my recollection.
They actually said you must get the... You can't use skates. You can only use a car. You remember I saying that?
Indeed so, my lord.
This old man doesn't forget.
And then furthermore, what is important, my lord, is that Pinky Fillingham says the tower coverage in an urban area such as Fostoras is between 500 meters and 2 kilometers.
Yeah. So.
I see now why Advocate George Baloyi sat down and then handed over the reins to rebut the application for Section 174 that was presented by Advocate Zitulele Nxumalo, and why he handed this over to the Dr. Sibanda, because it makes absolute no sense, the things that he is saying, okay? And I think George Baloyi did not want to be associated in any manner with this type of record. Now, the question I have, why exactly is the doctor suddenly, all of a sudden, extremely confident? Did you guys pick up on that? But he talks about the towers, okay? The First Lotus Tower, the Basutini Hostel, that tower is about 500 meters away. And he says accused number 3 and 4, and he's tying accused number 3 into this because accused number 4 said, that's my friend, we're always together. When we were taking the photos, we were right there, okay? And anything on his phone, I'm there inside Pagati. And to me, that sounds like 2 friends, regular friends, never mind close friends. But to me, that behavior does not stand out to me. But what they're saying, what the court is saying, or should I say what the state is saying, if on the 26th of October 2014, accused number 3 and 4 are the only 2 people who connected to the Basutini Tower, who connected to the First Lotus Tower, and because they are friends, They are therefore guilty of the unaliving of SENZO MEYIWA, which was approximately 4 kilometers away. The Spaza house was approximately 4 kilometers away. And then I just say to myself, wow, this is a case of, why were you with your friends on Saturday near the scene of the crime? That's all that it sounds like to me. And in basic English, hogwash. Yeah. This is some thumb-sucking hogwash. Makes absolute no sense. But he's so excited to break this down to my lord. This is crazy to me. But let's continue listening on.
Because it's a built-up area. And that can be found on record 12 June 2024 on page 11. Paragraph 31.6 on response to paragraph 4.7 of accused number 4's application. Constable Zungu testified that between 8:30 in the evening as well as 21:30 in the evening, he saw accused 1, 2, and 3 coming and following each other. And it had been some time he has last seen accused 1, 2, and 3. That is on the record dated 7 September 2023 on page 14 and 20. Colonel Stein and Ms. Pinkify Fillingham testified that the robbed cell phone now that is the cell phone that belonged to Ms. Kelly Khumalo. From the scene, which is Kutwanong Street, picked up or connected to a Moleleki tower around 21:52:56 seconds on the 26th of October 2014.
Yeah, just wait. So the date actually coincides with the date of the alleged murder.
That is correct, my lord. Few minutes later. Yes.
Because it was argued that it's not the same by Mr. Nxumalo. It's not the same cell phone. Hey, the color is white, it's this and that and that and that. Identity was being disputed.
Of the cell phone that was robbed from the scene.
Robbed. Mr. Baloi called it the robbed cell phone of Mr. Ilinda.
But according to the independent evidence brought by Vodacom, this cell phone from the crime scene, it connected to the tower in Moleleki, and then Colonel Stein said this Moleleki tower is at or near the hostel. I'm avoiding to use the word vicinity because it's broad, so it's at or near the hostel.
This is just painful to watch, because we already ventilated this thoroughly months and months and months ago when Upinki Van Dillingham was here. But anyway, since Sibanda is bringing it back up, I'm going to talk about it. At the beginning of this point that he is making, he said that between 1341 and 1511, accused number 3 and 4, the tower reflecting is Vosloorus Tower, which is near the Basutini hostel, and that they connected to that tower, but they are claiming that they were at Lesedi. Why didn't they connect to the Lesedi tower or the Vosloorus West Tower? Okay, remember him saying that? He was so happy to tell us that it was the Vosloorus Tower that they connected to. Surprise, surprise. Now, in the same point, he says the runaway cell phone, the one belonging to Kelly Khumalo, which was allegedly taken by Ubongani Danzi and put in a plastic bag, that cell phone is now connecting to Moleleki Tower, which is near the hostel. So which is which, sir? Which is which? Because you're not making sense. You're now, distributing towers at this point. You're just distributing towers because you made a point to tell us earlier that they connected to the Vosloorus Tower. Now make it make sense why now you're saying no, they are connecting to the Moleleki Tower. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Let's continue listening on, as difficult as this may be. But while we're at it, let's just go ahead and hit that like button, okay? Hit that like button. Let's continue on. Thank you.
And at that time, whoever that was inside the house at Kutwanong was at the opposite direction, was at the clinics, was picking up the clinics tower.
So it moved, the cell phone.
The phone moved, and it moved at or near the hostel. And then we have Constable Zungu that places all the accused persons after 9 in the evening at the hostel, after he has not seen them for quite some time. Paragraph 31.7, it's a response to paragraph 14.9. Constable Zungu testified that he took The 38 special from Muzi and look at it, and they were handing these firearms over to Gwabeni. That's found on record dated 7 September 2023 on page 18. Paragraph 31.8, response to paragraph 14.14. Constable Zungu testified that he knew accused number 4 from Fustlores, not from back at home. He further testified that on the 26th of October 2014, accused number 4 arrived, and on his arrival, he gave Zungu the car keys and he also conveyed his gratefulness.
So Zungu's car, are you submitting? Otherwise, did it move or it never moved?
We do not have such evidence, but what we know, my lord, is that his car keys at some stage, they were not in the bag in which he has initially placed them. So when he was about to leave, then he looked for his key, he couldn't find them, asked Gwabeni to check. Gwabeni then made phone calls. Then Zungu was told that accused number 4 is coming back with the keys. And then he came back, he handed his car keys to Mr. Zungu, and then accused number 4 conveyed his gratefulness by the manner in which he handed them back to the witness.